I'm Mark Seeley. I handle the social media for Paramour on Broadway. We are currently in the beautiful Lyric Theater, home of Paramour, with our star, Ruby Lewis.
Hi, everybody.
If you've been following along, you saw that Cirque had a live with their engineers up in Montreal creating the cast album. You got a sneak peek of some of the music. If you have not seen it, watch this video and then go back. And now we want to learn about the making of the cast album from your perspective.
Totally.
So tell me, where did we record Paramour?
We recorded at Avatar Studios in New York City a couple weeks back, and it's one of the oldest standing studios in Midtown Manhattan. It has so much history, all the wood paneling. Madonna recorded like a virgin there. Everyone's been through there, Bon Jovi, the Stones. So when you walk in, it feels like automatically you're part of history. So we were pretty psyched. We did it. We knocked it out in one day. We knocked it out in 8 hours, and you know, we're just feeding off of all that creativity and all that energy that just sits there.
If those walls could talk,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So they'd have a lot of stories, and probably not all. No. So this is Cirque du Soleil's first musical on Broadway. This is their first cast album. Mm-hmm. This is their Broadway debut. This is your Broadway debut.
That's right.
And cast album.
Yeah.
I mean,
how do you history being made here with this one.
Like, how do you feel? Like, what is that feeling?
It feels, I mean, it's still sinking in. I mean, I've been with the show since January, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is my Broadway debut. I'm originating a role. Yeah. And then, we heard we were going to record the cast album, like, and the original Broadway cast album. These are bucket list items that this year I'm just fortunate to check them off. So yeah. I'm really excited to hear the album.
Well, when you got in the booth for the first time, was it a nerve-wracking experience, or were you like, got this?
Somehow I felt really at home in that booth.
Cool.
And it's even caused me to think a little bit more about spending more time in a recording studio, because I just kicked my shoes off. You know, I had my all my tinctures for my voice, had my hot water and honey, and I had my, the guys who were, were all goofing off together, and it was real laid back and real, no pressure. It was really, really fun.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. So, in the recording process, like, what did you enjoy most?
Well, it's a lot easier to focus on your sound when you're not running around stage like a crazy person. The Honeymoon Days of Fame song is so much easier when I'm not doing it as it is in the show, which in the show I'm constantly moving and changing and laying down and standing up, and I mean, it's just like a whole ordeal, worrying about my camera angles. And in the studio, I could just like really ground myself and sang it, and it was therapeutic. It was fun, and I think I heard a clip, and I think it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds good. Trust me, it sounds great. So you mentioned like being on stage and having to run around every night.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest difference between having to do that and then just when you are just standing still in the booth? Is there and also having to be like perfect in
right.
the booth?
Yeah, I mean, there's one song, the Love Triangle, where I do some coloratura, and if you don't like hit it on the dot, it's basically a bad take. You can't auto-tune that. So there was a little bit of pressure involved with that. And it's weird too when, you have to be very, very silent. And especially once the song is over with, you have to be so silent, you have to wait. And there's no applause, and nobody's giving you any, any credit. You're just like, I just nailed that, and I'm just, you have to be very solemn about it. And then they cut, and you can celebrate a little bit, but it's just it's kind of weird. And
yeah.
We were in like this glass box, the singers were. So we could hear the musicians through our headphones. We could see them, but we couldn't hear them live.
Right.
And it was like sealed shut. I mean, it was crazy. It was like we were in a greenhouse or something. It was weird.
So you mentioned like having to wait, making sure you get that perfect take.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't have to give away any secrets, but what song took the most in the recording studio to be like, that's it? Is there one?
Well, there's a bonus track,
okay.
And it's a song that it's a song that we had in the show, and then we needed to trim it, so it's still in the show, but it's just like a trimmed down version. So the entire track, the entire version of the song is on the album, and we hadn't thought about that song or sang it in its entirety for a while. So we had the sheet music in front of us, but it was myself and Ryan and Jeremy, and we kept messing up who was singing what and stumbling over some things. So that one took a while. Took some takes. Yeah, I think it'll be worth it though.
You got in that 8-hour period though, so it worked.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we knocked it out in the beginning, so we made up for it in the end.
Great. So you're Indigo.
I play Indigo, yeah.
Indigo's from South Bend, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're from Kentucky, is that correct?
Yeah, South Bend is just a little north, so it's not too far removed.
How did you come from singer, girl in Kentucky, to Broadway leading lady?
It's kind of funny because Indigo in the show is discovered in a bar, like nightclub, singing in a nightclub, and that's kind of what happened to me with this show. Is I was singing in a nightclub in Vegas last year, and Cirque du Soleil theatrical, a lot of folks came and saw me and invited me to audition for Paramour. So it was oddly very parallel the way that worked out. And a lot, we have a lot in common, myself and Indigo, and I've always wanted, I say I was born in the wrong time because the golden age of Hollywood took the clothing and the glitz and the glamour. I'm just really into it. So reliving it every night's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to be Cleopatra too.
I know.
So. Fans, if you have any questions, I should note, feel free to just write them in the comments and we'll get them answered for you. So just right away. So with the cast album, is there a song that you think the audience members will want to just run on repeat? Like you just know that that song is gonna.
Yeah, depending on who you are and what you need, I think one of the songs that's gonna get a lot of play because it's angsty and it gets a lot of creative aggression out is Joey's Songwriter's Block. I really can't wait to hear that.
Cool, yeah.
I was standing right outside when Ryan recorded that. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be an anthem. This is going to be what a lot of teenagers specifically, maybe they just got broken up with, they got dumped, and they were just taking their frustration out on the guitar. It's that song. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
We look forward to those covers. Angsty teenagers.
Yeah.
Send in those covers.
Right.
Okay, if you could sing a song in the show that someone else sings, do you have a song that would be?
I really like Ryan's song.
The one we just talked about.
Yeah, the one we just talked about. I also really like there's this really cool kind of Florence and the Machine sounding song
Yes.
at the top of Act 2 that I think is really kind of spooky, and I love Florence and the Machine, and I love that style of music, so I sing that one. I sing that one in the shower sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's a great song.
Yeah.
And I love Florence too.
Yeah.
Fans, if you have any songs that you can't wait to hear on the cast recording, again, leave them in the comments and let us know. So, how do you prepare 8 shows a week? How do you prepare your voice, your body, to get in the character to make sure that you can sustain 8 shows a week? Because that is.
I do think that this is the Super Bowl, and I've been training for a long time because I did 4 tours. And when you're touring, you do 8 shows a week, and then you travel on your one day off, and it's just constantly go, go, go. So I do feel like I built up some stamina, so I don't think about it quite as much now as I used to, but I do have to get 9 hours of sleep, and I do have to stay well hydrated, and if I feel like you can't get sick, so I feel like if I'm getting sick, I have all kinds of home remedies, and neti pots, and steaming, and oil of oregano, just, all kinds of stuff, holistic stuff.
When the show's down, do you find it hard, especially right after the curtain, do you find it hard when you get home to get into the night?
Yeah.
Is it that you charged to 2 in the morning?
Yeah, my bedtime's generally 2 or 3.
Okay, yeah.
Especially now that Stranger Things is on Netflix.
Oh.
I
need to watch it.
Every time I'm like, oh, I finished that on Netflix. Finally, I can concentrate on some creative stuff, and then something else comes on Netflix that's awesome, and I'm like, I just want to watch that.
That has been the talk of The Office, and I have not been talking because I have not watched it yet. But
yeah.
I really need to watch
when you go home, it's just like anyone with a 9 to 5. It's just like I get home, and then it's time to eat dinner, kick back, and it's the same kind of time frame.
Except it's 7 to 3.
Yeah.
7 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So the album comes out on digitally, August 22nd. And then in the physical form, September 16th, just in CD, but we've been album, vinyl. And, we got a fan question. Sorry. How did you find out you got the role?
That's fun. I was still working in Vegas at the time, and I didn't have anything lined up, and my job in Vegas was ending, so I was starting to get a little bit of like, oh no, what am I going to do next feeling, and I waited probably a month, maybe even over a month before I heard. I was just hounding my agents about it, and I was with my boyfriend driving to Dillard's, my favorite store, in the desert, and anytime you get a call from your agent and then they say, we have to connect the other agent and the manager, anytime it's a three-way call, you know it's news. So they said that, and I saw my boyfriend, driving carefully, took out his video camera because he knew what it was, and he caught it. He caught it on video, and that was it. And then I went shopping, and I bought a lot of stuff because I was excited.
It had a nice bottle of champagne, hopefully.
Yeah.
This is a long question. Forgive me while I read my hand assistant off camera. Is it difficult to stay in character with all the acrobats around you?
Yeah.
And are you gobsmacked by the acrobats around?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it must be insane.
Yeah, there are two numbers in particular where I catch myself like reacting like a normal person would, squinting, and one is as Cleopatra when the Atherton twins are doing their strap act. You know, it makes me nervous every time. It's amazing every time, but sometimes it makes me nervous, and you're Cleopatra, you have to look royal and not like nothing scares you, so stop wincing. And then the other one is Love Triangle, where the acrobats are, she's being tossed around back and forth between the trapeze and the guy on the floor, and we're right there underneath them singing and trying to pretend like we're not scared and / amazed because they're trying to sing to each other. It's a new challenge. It's a challenge that I wasn't prepared for.
With the Cleopatra scene, when you are, because you're high up, you're like up a flight of steps that come out of nowhere. I don't know where they hide them in the theater, but it's insane. So you get a really unique perspective of the Atherton, because you get to see them go out into the audience, up, and then like back into you. This must be
best scene in the house. Yeah. The coolest part is the audience doesn't realize what's coming. They don't realize that people are going to fly over their heads.
Right.
And I hear all the gasps, and then the lights follow them, so I see everyone's face illuminate as they pass, and they're just like, you know, kids like stand up on their seat. It's just really cool.
Oh, what a cool perspective. That's really neat. Oh, another fan question. Oh, opening night. So, because the preview period we had a long like 5-month you had a long 5-month rehearsal period, like out in Long Island and in the theater. The tech was challenging, and then a preview period with a lot. It was
I was really nervous for first preview because we had just implemented some major changes that day, and it was our first big sold out audience, first ticket buying audience. So I really felt like I needed to nail it, but then after all the preview performances had passed, my parents had seen it, I had a few friends see it. By the time the official opening came, I wasn't nervous anymore, and I'm so glad, because it was like the press opening, and you want to be able to relax into it and not push and not be shaky. So I was grateful for that preview period. I'm not used to that on tour. We don't have preview periods. We just open and we're
just
open.
kind of go.
Yeah.
This is from William. Now that, forgive me if I read poorly, now that we have a cast album, how about a solo album for you?
I was just talking about that with some folks. Yeah, I'm writing now. I have one original song down, however many I need to make an album to go, 9 to go, I don't know. Maybe I'll start with an EP.
Start with an EP.
Yeah.
What is your genre of choice? So if you're going to do an album, like bluegrass, like...
Yeah, being from Kentucky, country music really speaks to me, but I really like pop. So I came up with a term yesterday called Glam Americana.
Okay.
So it's like Glam Americana.
Okay, I'll go with it.
I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll coin that, and I'm trying to figure out what that sounds like still, but that's what I'm
Glam Americana, TM.
Yeah.
Ruby Lou.
No one steal that.
We have proof, so if we see like someone else taking it, it's on film. I think we have one more question.
Oh, great.
But,
thanks for participating.
Yeah, thank you guys. I hope you were enjoying it. I hope we sound, can you hear us? Do you enjoy being a blonde or a redhead? In the show, if you have not seen it yet, Indigo is a redhead.
Yeah, fiery red. I mean, every time I walk out the stage door, at least one person says, "Oh, you look so good as a redhead. You should be a redhead." And I do feel powerful in that red wig, I have to say, I feel like I can take some names. And I thought about dyeing my hair red, but my hair guy said it's hard to get it back, so I didn't like it. I might still, or maybe I'll just get a wig of my own and wear it around during the day.
You would look like a Julianne Moore. I see Julianne Moore vibe.
Someone compared me to Deborah Messing.
Oh,
yeah, so that would be like a
both.
But I've got the freckles, and I don't know. I think it's a good fit. I like the red hair on stage. Yeah,
for sure.
Mhm.
Have you heard any? I'm sorry. Oh, have you heard any of Cirque before you joined the show?
Yeah.
Paramour.
My first Cirque show was in 2006, I think, in Hawaii. It was like a tent show, and I was like, wow, it was really amazing. And then I had seen a couple in Vegas, but when I lived in Vegas last summer, and I knew I was going to be auditioning for Paramour, I saw as many as I could, and made a lot of friends within the Cirque community, and just realized how full of joy all their shows were, and how tight knit they become. And so Paramour does not disappoint. It's full of joy, and we are very tight knit. We're a tight knit group.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what is your favorite costume? You have a lot of cool costumes.
I know, I do have a lot of cool costumes. I really like in The Office during Love Triangle, I get to wear this beautiful, almost indigo blue dress that's kind of really period, and it's all handmade, and the buttons are hand sewn, and it has this beautiful kind of like paisley detail. I'm all about details.
Yeah.
And with the red hair, I just feel like I feel like a sapphire out on that stage.
Oh,
yeah, I feel like it pops.
Oh, that's awesome. So, digital album comes out on August 22nd. Physical copy September 16th. Get both. Say you want a vinyl, because we do. So if we get enough people,
and come to the stage and sign.
You can. One little question, you guys are so good. Where did your love of singing come from?
My first solo ever, I was like 2 or 3 years old in church, and I have a video of it. I was dressed like an elf, and I sang the Christmas song, sitting on the piano, and that's when, I just couldn't stop singing. I'm sure my mom was, my mom was a singer, so she was excited, and we harmonized together in the car, and I just knew it was something I had to do for life.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's great. So, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know you have like a show in a few hours.
Yeah.
And again, to reiterate, August 22nd, Google Play, iTunes, wherever you can buy digital music, and then September 16th, wherever physical CDs are still sold, and then, of course, at the Lyric Theater. So, thank you guys.
Thanks.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.